Hey everybody, Black Ninja 797 here, and welcome back to another video, guys. In today's video, this is going to be another episode of Myth Busting Mondays. And for this episode, we got plenty of cool myths in here, but the one that's going to be the most fun is the one, of course, at the very end for our big, bad final myth. And that myth is going to be, can you be able to end up beating the Last Stand map in under 10 minutes? Because there's an achievement in the game that if you beat under 13 minutes, that's considered extremely fast. If you guys end up enjoying today's episode of Myth Busting Mondays, please end up dropping a like. I would definitely very appreciate it. And it was kind of funny, I got a little bit of sass from one of my subscribers in my previous video recently with Clementine and Walking Dead mods, and said that I should ask for higher like goals. So I'm going to be honest, that was actually kind of cute. So I'm very flattered, and I'm going to actually up the like goal here. So if we can end up getting 10 likes on this video, we're going to double it here. I would definitely very much appreciate it. So shout out to my one subscriber for doing that. Thank you. That really meant a lot to me. And yeah, guys, let's continue on with the next episode of Myth Busting Mondays. Myth. Can you survive getting hit by the plane in the final of Dead Air? Alrighty guys, so we have loaded up into the finale of Dead Air, and as you guys know, as soon as we open up the safe room door, the cinematic plane is going to spawn, and we're just going to walk in front of the pathway of where it crashes to see if it's going to end up killing us. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to get a different result because I'm on Left 4 Dead 2 compared to Left 4 Dead 1. Maybe we might start doing that in future episodes. But however, though, this is Left 4 Dead 2, and I, in my humble opinion, think this is going to kill me. So that's my theory on the myth. But let's just wait and see. So here it comes, and... Oh. Well, that's really surprising. And I was hit with several pieces of residue too, so it's not like it was a fluke. Apparently, you can survive getting hit by the plane in the finale of Dead Air. So that means that this myth is actually going to be confirmed. You can survive the plane crash. It's really weird what this game considers as lethal or not, because some things that shouldn't kill you do, and some things that should don't. It's really bizarre. Myth. Can you shoot a propane tank midair and have it explode? So in a previous episode of Myth Busting Mondays, one of the requests I got was whether or not that you can shoot a gasoline can in midair and have it set on fire, or in this case, explode. So I wanted to just do this with a propane tank, so let's end up comparing and see if there's a difference. Alrighty, so I'm up here with my Magnum, and we're gonna chuck it, and let's see. Oh, we missed. Well, that doesn't mean that we failed, it just means we missed. Let's try this again. Alright, take two, and... Yep, you can shoot a propane tank midair and it's going to explode, and it was enough of a blast radius that set the gasoline can on fire, so you know it also wasn't a special effect either. So that means that, yes, this myth is confirmed, and you can shoot a propane tank midair. Myth. Can you hit a secret button to get the song Still Alive to play? Now, since there is a couple people out there that might not understand what I mean by the Still Alive song, the Still Alive song is a secret song that is in Left 4 Dead that you can play on the jukebox that is from the series Portal, which is another Valve title. And this is supposed to be by complete chance. It's a very rare song that plays, but you can end up getting it. Now, on the jukebox, you will see that there's buttons that you can end up having glow in the dark, and these will play whenever a certain song is playing on the jukebox. But however, though, if you take a look at the jukebox on the very right, there is a button for a fifth song. But however, though, there is nothing that you can end up doing with these buttons physically. It's not like you can press them manually. Or can you? Because that's what I want to try here for today's theory. I'm going to see if by hitting anything on that specific button, whether it be by looking at it directly or on a certain angle just in general, if it will force the song Still Alive to play. I also have captions on so that way you guys can see it playing, but without me possibly getting a copyright strike because the song is claimed. But let's end up just going through this and seeing if we can get the song to play.
12 o'clock midnight.
Alrighty guys, I'm just gonna label this myth as busted because I ended up doing this for a decent amount of time, and even if it did play, which it didn't for me unfortunately, it would have been just as sheer coincidence and not that I actually did anything. And so I feel like it would have been unfair to say that it was even remotely plausible, because there's no way I'm able to prove this, because the only thing I was going off of was probability rate, and since it was so infrequent, like I said, if it would have happened, it probably would have been a fluke. So I'm just going to leave this at busted unless we end up getting a better way to document this in the future. Myth. Can you charge the witch as a charger? I hope that this works. Alrighty guys, so this is a myth that I am testing literally out of sheer just curiosity. This was just one of the myth ideas that I came up with, and it's, can you charge the witch? I am just doing this out of, like I said, just pure amusement and just out of complete curiosity. So I am loaded up into a game of Versus. We are playing on hard rain, and I did happen to end up getting a charger right off the bat. So I am just waiting for the survivors to move a little bit out of their safe room, so that way a witch is going to end up spawning. When the witch does end up spawning, regardless of if it's walking or if it is sitting, I am going to end up spawning in, I am going to try to ram the witch, and I'm just going to hope that her body will go flying, because certain special infected, they can kill each other, so I really want to see. Alright, so there is the witch's silhouette, I can see her off in the distance, so while I am technically invisible, I'm going to go over to her, and then I will spawn in once I am close enough, so that way I can get there at the ideal speed. So she's right near a lip, near a roof, let's end up seeing, and... ah, damn! Aw, damn. That would have been funny as hell if you could charge the witch just corpse launcher. That would have been amazing, man. Come on, Valve. Come on. Alrighty, guys. So that myth is busted, but you have no idea how much I really want that to be confirmed. Alrighty, guys. So now we are down to the final myth. The ultimate myth. The absolute badass myth of today's episode. And this is for my speedrunners out there. This is going to be the myth. Can you end up beating the last stand in 10 minutes or less? Preferably less, because then it's even more fancy. And that way you guys can end up seeing if you can set some world records. So when it comes to the last stand, just for a little bit of clarification before we move on to the actual myth itself. Right now, currently, there's an achievement in the game for beating it in less than 13 minutes. And I personally already have that achievement, and it's not easy by any stretch of the imagination. Now, what I'm going to be doing for the most ideal scenario is that I'm going to be playing with God Mode on, I'm going to be playing with cheats on, and disabling the director, so that way the only things that should spawn in is going to end up being the tanks. This is going to be a fictional scenario where there's nothing stopping me and slowing me down, where just imagine that I'm going at the absolute peak speed, where there's nothing to stop or stun me, and I am just going based off of just sheerly my killing speed potential. So the only thing that would slow me down is if I happen to, like, let's say, take too long to kill the tank or anything like that. So the things that would be slowing me down would be just things that would inevitably happen. So this means that in this case, from my circumstantial video here that I am making, even though, yes, I'm technically cheating, I'm trying to emulate the possibility of perfect circumstances. So just keep that in mind when we're doing this little myth here. But other than that, let's begin and see if we can beat the last stand in 10 minutes or less. Myth. Can you beat the last stand in 10 minutes or less? Alrighty, guys, so here is the gameplay for today's myth. Now, just keep in mind, I once again would like to reiterate that I am doing this while cheating. This is to be in an ideal scenario, because what the director enabled is completely based off of chance, and to try to do something this strict and probability on chance, it would take several weeks. So I am just going to be doing this based off of my own skill. And what do I mean by that? Well, that basically means that this is going to be where the only things that will spawn in is the tanks, because the tanks will spawn in no matter what, whether the director is on or off. So this is going to be only impacting my speed depending on how fast I can kill them, which means that I'm going to be setting my own speed here. So if I kill the tanks too slow, that's going to be my record. If I kill them pretty fast, then we can see if I can get under 10 minutes, but it's all up to me. So if I kill them quick enough, I might get under 10 minutes. If I don't, I may not. It really is just going to be depending. I am also putting the gameplay from the very beginning to the very end in a fast forward style, so that way you guys can see the whole entire thing with no cuts, so that way you guys can accurately be able to tell from what point I started to what point I stopped. Now, keep in mind is that I already do know the results, so that way I can clarify them at the end of the myth here. But however, though, if you guys do want to end up doing your own results, that's once again why I would like to reiterate that I'm showing you guys the gameplay from beginning to end, so that way you guys can time it yourselves. Now, see, the funny thing is with this myth is that this myth is going to end up taking 4 minutes to show you guys the gameplay in full, because even with ultra fast motion, I can only end up going so fast. The last stand is 2 chapters, but even when I'm trying to do this in under 10 minutes, and I also have it fast forwarded, it still took about 4 to be able to end up getting this from the very beginning to the very end with the ultra fast motion. So, I'm not gonna lie, there's probably gonna be a little bit of filler with this commentary for at least this initial part, but to keep your guys' ears occupied, that's why I'm going to be talking over it, just so that way you guys don't have to just have boring, mindless gameplay floating in the background. And I will just say this, is that even though there might be a little bit of rambling here in this clip, it's going to be just for fun. I really wasn't trying to make this, like, too extremely strict. I wasn't trying to be too hard on myself, being like, oh, I'm going to say this exact thing, and I'm going to do MLG podcasting. No, I'm not going to do that to myself. So I'm mostly just going to be making a lot of dick jokes or something like that, just something stupid while you guys end up watching this myth. And for those of you guys that are calculating my time right now, I just want to say kudos to you. You help contribute to the channel and making these myths possible, so shout out to the viewers that are playing along here. And guys, once again, while the gameplay is rolling on in the background, if you guys want to participate in this series, please by all means end up showing me your guys' myths in the comments down below. I would absolutely love to see what you guys have in mind. You can end up leaving multiple myths, you can end up leaving one single myth, but I would definitely like to end up getting back to them because this is what makes this series fun, is reading your guys' myths and your ideas, because really all it is just asking the question of what if. So yeah, guys, we are getting towards the end here of the gameplay, and I'm going to be going straight down to the dock and just killing the tanks. So once I end up killing the last tank here, the boat's going to end up spawning, and then I'm going to just wait for them. And as soon as the boat allows me to get on it, that's when I'm going to stop the clock. So there is the boat, I get on, and there we go, guys. So that is going to end up being the end of the full entire gameplay. And from what I came back with, my personal numbers was, drum roll please, 11 minutes and 3 seconds. Now keep in mind, I didn't have a stopwatch. I just went back in the gameplay and looked at the moment I moved to the moment I actually got the boat cinematic, and it was, with doing a little bit of the math, not counting the beginning, the video itself when I was just messing around with the mods itself, it was 11 minutes and 3 seconds. And it's not counting nanoseconds or anything. If you guys want to do that more in depth, you can. But that's what I got so far. But unfortunately, that means that's not even close to the official 10-minute mark, let alone under 10 minutes, which means that the final myth for today's video is busted. You can't beat it under 10 minutes. But anyways, guys, that is going to be it here for today's episode of Myth Busting Mondays. I do truly hope you ended up enjoying this Myth Busting Monday series. It's been a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see the comments that you guys leave for some more myths in next week's episode. If you guys do want to see this series continue, I would also appreciate if you guys could end up supporting it by dropping a like, commenting, and subscribing. If you guys want to financially support the channel, I would definitely appreciate if you guys could go check out my Patreon, as always linked down below in my YouTube video descriptions, or you guys could use supporter creator code BlackNinja797 in all caps in the Fortnite Epic Games item shops, because that is also very much appreciated, because Epic is my very first sponsor, and this video is sponsored today by Epic Games, so shout out to Epic. But yeah, guys, I hope you end up enjoying another YouTube video for the most sneak YouTuber you guys are ever going to see. Thank you for watching, guys, and peace out.